In Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets, taste like home. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Healthy and delicious? Hard to find in New Orleans, easy to find at Lebanon's Cafe. For the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, make it the Mediterranean diet on Carrollton at Jeanette. Lebanon's Cafe.
Oh boy. If you need a private investigator, Cannon is there for you. Especially if you have a box of fudge or a whole buffet for him to eat. Cannon. That's right.
Starring William Conrad.
Wow.
With guest star Anthony Zerbe.
Not Anthony Zerbe.
Special guest star Donna Winter.
Holy smokes, Donna Winter.
Tonight's episode, Catch Me If You Can.
Won't be a problem. I don't think there will be a problem catching Cannon running around. Not a problemo at all. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program where you're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss. Maybe a topic you feel that isn't being discussed enough, or maybe one that's not being discussed at all. 4 o'clock hour this afternoon brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe. Lebanon's Cafe, the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans. Lebanon's Cafe, all your Lebanese favorites, all those sides you love, tabbouleh, baba ganoush, hummus, mujedra, that great basmati rice, and of course, the city's best shish kebab, shrimp, beef, chicken, lamb chops, outdoor dining. Might be a little cool right now, but maybe not in the sun, under the big green awning, or right off to the side under the sun. Indoor dining, to-go orders, 4 o'clock hour, brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette in Uptown, right by the streetcar barn. Yeah, really nice weather. Waking up to high 40s, fading into the 50s, not even hitting 60. That looks like the deal for the next 4 days or so through Saturday. Today's really nice. Tomorrow's supposed to be really nice. Friday into Saturday supposed to be really nice. Lots of sunshine, waking up into the 40s, rolling into the 50s. We might get to the low 60s on 1 or 2 or more of the next 4 days, but really nice weather. Hope it continues through Mardi Gras. This is great parade weather, where you're not hot and sweaty and you're not freezing cold. Kind of a light jacket, maybe a scarf or something, and you're good. A lot to discuss. Coming up in about 10 minutes, New Orleans District Attorney Jason Williams will join us again on the program. We'll find out about, I can't believe the courts are closed. No jury trials for the next 2 months in New Orleans. But I guess since we don't have like some violent crime problem, it's not a big deal. Anyway, we'll find. Jason Williams has nothing to do with this, but we'll find out what he thinks. Jason Williams is asking for your help. Hey, citizens, you can help fight crime. A lot of folks like me have cameras around their house. I got the front yard, the backyard, the side, the other side, 6 cameras. Side door camera, front door camera. A lot of people in New Orleans have cameras around their house. These cameras, especially catching some criminal activity on them, forward that to the DA. Let the DA, let the NOPD see it. Jason Williams, 10 minutes away on the program. Destroyer, that's LaToya, the Destroyer Cantrell, a.k.a. Junket Cantrell, a.k.a. Contrary Cantrell, a.k.a. the criminal. Boy, I hope that recall happens. She deserves a third vote. NOLATOYA.org. Sign it already. It doesn't recall the mayor where she's gone if the votes are, the signatures needed are obtained. It simply sets up an election. John Bell Edwards, after the Secretary of State, is that Kyle Ardoin, will approve, if he approves the 53,000 plus signatures needed. John Bell Edwards will call a special election in Orleans Parish only for Orleans Parish registered voters, the same folks that are the only folks eligible to sign the recall. And then you'll go into the booth and you either keep LaToya Cantrell as mayor or you 86 or you oust her as mayor. She deserves a third election. Just obnoxious, belligerent, entitlement mentality. She definitely has earned a third election. Sign the recall already. NOLATOYA.org. The Destroyer does say that the parades will return to their full routes. I guess a lot of these parades have submitted law enforcement folks from other parishes, other parts of Louisiana, other states that will help assist the NOPD when their parade is rolling. So LaToya Cantrell, City of New Orleans, announces that the parades will return to their full routes. That's great news. I'm a little skeptical, and I don't mean to be, but my God, when we have trouble with car break-ins, around the Superdome or the arena, which is just a small area, and we have trouble with that, how are we going to police miles and miles of parade route? And I'm not talking on the parade route. I'm talking on the, 4, 6, 8 blocks on either side of the parade routes where people park. These criminals must just be rubbing their hands together, licking their chops about being able to break in vehicles. That's where my idea of New Orleans guardian angels. I mean, we have a population of 1.2 million in the metro. We easily could recruit or have a few hundred, maybe as many as 1,000 New Orleans guardian angels. Folks that know the law, know self-defense, common sense. You can't carry a weapon, but just their mere presence will deter some criminals, especially if it's a lot of them. Numbers help. And then, some type of two-way walkie-talkie communication. Hey, they're heading down the block, running your way. One guy's gone on a blue shirt. The other one's wearing shorts with a red shirt. One's big and stocky. One's tall and skinny. Whatever. Coming your way. Black guy, Latino, white, Asian. Looked black, white, Latino, Asian. Not sure, but keep an eye out for him. Definitely a red shirt. I mean, that could help. Guardian angels deterring folks from smashing windows on cars. No, that snatch and grab thing kind of worries me on the Mardi Gras route. But I like that the parades will return to their full routes. You got to love this Pope. Almost perfect. And I'm Catholic, for whatever that's worth. He's refreshing. He gets it, sort of. Pope Francis says homosexuality is not a crime. It's not a crime. He's about to head to the Middle East where it is a crime. God loves us as we are. But he continues and says, it's not a crime, but it is a sin. No, it's not. Corey, you're going to write your own rules? Yes. Vatican III, Corey Johnson, Catholic. If you're still living in denial like homosexuality and that, quote, lifestyle is a choice, you have either you're ignorant, you don't know anyone who's gay and have asked him, which would be so embarrassing. Hey, dude, are you being gay? Is that a choice? I mean, I'm sure, most gay folks, like most people, would be kind of, understanding of the question, or at least answer it in a correct way. But it's so simple. I like women. Just like I like women, there's some women that like women. There's some men that like men. There's some that like both. These definitive things what we have to have as humans. It's embarrassing. No, gotta be this, gotta be that. No, don't gotta be anything. And folks that are still under the illusion that homosexuality is a choice, it's a lifestyle. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Grow up, be an adult. God gives us free will to choose properly. And don't be scared of something you don't understand. Try to figure it out. Don't run from it. Anyway, homosexual is not a crime, but it is a sin. No, it's not a sin. God made straight folks, gay folks, bisexual folks. That's how they're built. That's their DNA. There's no changing them. Just like I can't, put you in a closet like Patty Hearst and talk you into being gay, or put you in a closet like Patty Hearst and talk you into being straight. Absolutely insane. But the Pope's at least leaning in the right direction. A carjacking in St. Bernard, a 6-year-old in the car. 2 more NOPD officers under criminal investigation with about a dozen others almost. Crazy. Boy, when it's a weather day like this, Helm Paint and Decorating's got you covered with high-quality Benjamin Moore products. I just painted my house. Lifetime paint. I'll never paint my house again. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models, and it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool side. NOLAAC.com, your cool side.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. If you like fresh New Orleans seafood, fresh local seafood, who doesn't? Fury's Restaurant in Metairie. You got to try it if you don't know about Fury's. They've only been at it for about 40 years now. John and Manny Fury, the brothers Fury. One of them, if not both of them, will be in there tonight. They roll till 9 p.m. And they don't mind if you come in at 8:30, 8:45. They'll take care of you with fresh local seafood like speckled trout, flounder, snapper. Start with onion rings and gumbo. You can't go wrong with that. You'll love it. Lots of New Orleans specialties, too. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, open till 9 p.m. New Orleans DA Jason Williams is going to join us in a minute. Fired up about that. I think that's the DA right there, if I'm not mistaken. Is that Jason?
It's me. You got me hungry talking about all that good food, Corey.
Yeah, Fury's is good, man. It's, you know, the dilemma in New Orleans, Jason, it's like, where am I going to eat tonight, you know?
Too many choices.
I'm telling you, if we lived in Idaho, it'd be like A or B, you know?
Very true. Very true. How you been?
I've been well. Yourself?
Busy.
I bet. Man, I know this isn't your call, but how disheartening. I mean, I know it's Mardi Gras. 2 months of no jury trials? That just is not believable.
You know, I mean, my team is super frustrated, as am I, especially when you consider that Orleans Parish was shut down longer than any other parish, and the judges weren't allowing us to try cases. And then we get an opportunity to do it in March, and we hit it in such a robust way in terms of successful verdicts, in terms of unanimity, and trying more cases than any of the two pre-pandemic years, and to get this shutdown for something that I think it can be corrected very quickly and should be. It's very frustrating.
It is. It's disheartening. What was the reason that you were told that we're having this shutdown?
So the jury commissioner has been improperly not sending notices out to all jurors that it should. The questionnaire was not proper based upon current law. Baton Rouge has had a similar problem. They corrected it without stopping jury trials. I believe Orleans Parish should be able to correct it without stopping jury trials. The biggest problem for me, the thing that's most disheartening, is we've got victims and witnesses who are scheduled to be in court next week, right, and next month. And of course, when a case can't go forward on the day that it's set, it really is a blow to a victim who wants their day in court the same way defendants talk about their days in court.
We're visiting with New Orleans DA Jason Williams. Hey, Jason, I honestly believe this. I'm not trying to appease you, and I don't think I'm naive. I think when you were running for office, what you said is what you believed. And then I think when you got into that DA's position, you were like, you know, some of these things I said, I was wrong. And you changed on the fly, and I think for the better. And I think that was honest. I don't think you said things to get elected. I think it's exactly how it went down. The NOPD are doing their job. You seem to be doing your job. These judges and magistrates with violent criminals, with illegal firearms, resisting arrest, violent crime, and they get a $3,500 bail or bond, they're out on $350. I mean, the NOPD, the DA's office, it's got to be as frustrating as this court shutdown for 2 months thing, maybe even more frustrating.
Well, it is more frustrating because it's a consistent problem. It's a consistent problem when we ask for a bond of a certain amount, and certain judges believe that splitting the baby is what justice is, but that's not how it works in other parishes. That's not how it works in other major cities. We know the facts of the case. The bond we're asking for is necessary. And in some situations, we're asking for no bond because we don't think there's any amount of money that should allow certain individuals to go back onto our streets after they've shown themselves to be dangerous.
Most magistrates and judges follow the DA's lead, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and look, there's a reason for that. That's not about having a one-sided scenario. It's a matter of public safety. We had one situation where a judge set a ridiculously low bond on a double rape case of 2 young girls that was also an attempted murder of those 2 young girls. And they set a bond that was so low the person could have made it had we not kicked up a big stink and got the judge to reverse themselves. I mean, some people need to be in jail. Let's be very clear about it. I don't care. This society has rules.
Yep.
And in order to have law and order, if someone hurts people in this community, they forfeit their right to be out here. And that just makes sense. That's common sense. There's nothing draconian or mean about it. It is smart.
Yeah, and I think most folks with common sense and get it, that are realistic, let's not kid ourselves. This pay-to-play redneck sheriff millionaire in Louisiana incarcerating people for profit. Louisiana and Oklahoma battle it out for #1 incarceration rate per capita on the planet, more than China, North Korea. It's insane. It's broken. Petty crime, going to jail. We don't have time for that. So I'm all for those types of reforms, but a lot of these judges and magistrates, I've seen some of these judges when they were running for office. You can still go to their old websites. It's sort of a criminal first, citizen second mentality instead of the other way around. Citizens first. And yeah, we can definitely focus on, racial profiling and wrongly incarcerated folks. Anyone who's for that is an idiot. But my God, when like you're saying, when they're violent criminals, some folks need to be in jail, and this split the difference, as you said, it's just crazy.
I mean, it's Solomon, I guess. Solomon said split the baby. Who wants to be that baby? Nobody.
Nope.
Right? They're missing the point of Solomon's words, right? And the truth of the matter is the system is there to protect people. There's nothing wrong. Like last week, I told this jury, in the murder case of Donald Rowe for killing Theodore Jones, I told them this man deserves to spend the rest of his life in jail. And that is not mean, because he took someone's life, but he also took 2 young people's lives because he recruited them to shoot the gun. So now they're serving time along with him. And so he needs to pay a price for that. That's not mean. He got a fair trial. We got all 12 jurors to agree. We turned over all the evidence in the case. And as long as it's fair, it is okay for it to be hard.
How's this thing progressing with the UNO kid that was paralyzed and the juvenile that the 30-day window passed and he can't be tried as an adult? How did the 30-day window pass? And are you getting maybe a higher court to rule with you where this kid can be tried as an adult?
Yeah, we plan on moving forward with this case in adult court. We've appealed. This is Judge Lori White who made the decision to try to stop us from charging him as an adult. And let me be clear, that 30-day timeline is not a bar to us being able to prosecute a violent offender as an adult. It's just a procedural safeguard about what and when and how things happen in juvenile court. But when we bring that case to adult court, it divests juvenile court of any discretion. So we believe that Judge White misapplied the law in that particular case. The law is very clear that the DA's office chooses when and where and how to prosecute cases. And outside of the statute of limitations or prescriptive periods, there is no bar that can stop us from doing that. So we think the judge is dead wrong. We don't think that timeline is a timeline that stops the DA's ability to bring a case in adult court. We have social media posts of this perpetrator in a ski mask holding assault weaponry, right? And we're going to keep this case in adult court and fight to make sure it happens. Bob White, who is one of my best lawyers over here, was talking to Elizabeth, young Noah's mother, who's helping him live the best life she can after he was senselessly paralyzed from this violence. But that case needs to be in adult court. It will be brought in adult court. And the judge that tried to stop it, we're taking her up to the Supreme Court of Louisiana.
Hey, Jason, we got about 30 seconds or so left. The only way, I thought you brought up a good point, the only way we're going to, try to curb at least, ideally solve this violent crime problem in New Orleans, the public needs to help. And you're talking specifically with like folks like me that have like 6 cameras around their house. Send that video to the NOPD. Help solve these crimes.
It's a huge deal. It's a force multiplier. Everybody knows we do not have enough men and women on the police force in the streets. Putting more cameras up, whether you're a private citizen or a business, put cameras up. Send that footage. Use Project NOLA. Use a Platinum Cam on the city system. Use a Ring doorbell. There's all sorts of cost of entries. If you don't have the money, there's nonprofits who will pay for it. When I was on the city council, we donated money to neighborhood organizations. This is a way that you can get in the game of fighting crime without putting yourself in harm's way.
Hey, Jason, always a pleasure, man. Let's do it again soon.
Look forward to it. Let's keep these consistent. Thank you, Corey.
Yeah, you're right. That's Jason Williams, New Orleans DA. Corey Johnson with you. Coming right back.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday. Dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and were maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you, a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. You know, you can always go on YouTube like right now. If you're just tuning in on the radio, television, YouTube, you can always, and live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. If you're just tuning in right now and you're like, oh, wow, Corey had Jason Williams on. Yeah, you can go to YouTube and check out the program from the beginning. Yeah, our YouTube channel, Corey Johnson, Kaare, Corey Johnson. Neutral Ground. You can check out Jason Williams from a few minutes ago, yesterday's program, last week, last month. And click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost a dime. Lots of ways to check out the program. Yeah, we're really going to work on expanding that YouTube channel and our reach in 2023. Lots of ways to check out the program besides YouTube. You can check us out on Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. You can take the show with you on the road. You're going hunting or fishing or jogging, working in the yard. If you got a cell phone, a tablet, laptop, home computer, wherever you are, you can check us out there. CoreyTalks.com, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. You can email us as well, Corey@CoreyTalks.com. And yeah, old school, this is a talk radio program, my bread and butter. Started doing this about 30 plus years ago. Little WIBR in Baton Rouge. I think that station is off the air, doesn't even exist anymore. Turned in the license to the FCC. The studio was right under the transmitter. Literally right under the tower and in a cow pasture. Look out the window and there's cows walking by. It was in Port Allen on the best bank of Baton Rouge. That was 30 years ago. Talking sports with Corey Johnson and Todd Black. And then did the sports talk thing pretty much right up until Katrina. And then after the storm, Katrina, BPO disaster, coronavirus crisis, whatever, a little introspection. What do I want to do? Where do I want to be in X amount of years? What are my goals? What are my objectives? I love sports. I love food. I love music. But I just felt there were more important things to do and cover. And there's enough folks doing sports talk. There's enough folks doing sports talk. Right now, for instance, in New Orleans, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 5 or so live radio talk shows, AM and FM, in New Orleans right now. Like 5, live and local. 4 of the 5 do sports talk. I don't. Sports talk is clearly covered. Plus, I mean, covering the Saints at training camp and talking about some guy who's not even going to make the 53-man roster day in, day out. It's just ridiculous. And I don't want to look up when the game starts and where you can find it and the records of the teams and all that, all this micro minutia. I'll leave it up to the sports talk guys to discuss all that. I still dabble in it. Went to the Pelicans game last night. That was a heartbreaker. Down by about maybe 19 at one point. And then Willie Green's just such a good coach. A depleted team. No Zion Williamson. No Brandon Ingram. I mean, those are arguably your number 1 and number 2 player on the team. It's like the Saints playing a few years ago without Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara, something like that. Without Drew Brees and DeMario Davis. It's just hard to win when you don't have your superstars. And Willie Green, man, everybody contributes. Everybody plays. Alvarado, that kid is just a spark plug. No, they had the lead towards the end by a point, lost by 1 point. I think 98-97, something like that. No, it was heartbreaking. Good crowd, even with the inclement weather watch. A lot of North Shore residents have tickets. I'm sure they didn't come in. I was sitting at Clancy's at the bar about a week ago having a dinner, talking to some guys. Like, man, my buddy comes in for every home game from Mobile, Alabama. Drives in 2 hours to watch 2 hours of basketball and then drives home 2 hours. There's a lot of fans all over. Southern Alabama, obviously. Southern Mississippi, North Shore, River Parish is home of Thibodeau. Hammond couldn't come in yesterday because of the inclement weather. Still a great crowd. Upper deck, suites, lower deck, lower bowl. It was just great crowd at the Smoothie King Center last night. So I love sports. Mondays, we get Brett Martell on a Martell Monday. Brett's been with the AP for about 25 years. Fridays with Fletcher Mackel. He's been doing his thing at Channel 6 for over 20 years. I like both those guys because they're smart, they're intelligent, they're knowledgeable about their craft, sports, and they're not scared to throw out some opinions. I like that too. So no, I'm not scared of sports or got tired of it or burned out or had to move on. Just thought there were more important things to discuss, and I thought sports were covered locally, clearly, more than enough sports talk radio. And I still dabble in it a little, still bring on a couple of guests for a few minutes. Kind of a Monday recap, Friday preview type of thing. And then, I love talking food. That's why Frank Brightson joins us. You heard Jason and I just at the beginning of what we were discussing. Furies and where am I going to go eat tonight? That's a dilemma in New Orleans. So many good places. You live in Iowa, there's like 2. I remember covering the Saints, speaking of sports talk, in La Crosse, Wisconsin, the Jim Mora era. Up in La Crosse, on Alaska, Wisconsin, the little neighboring city. I can tell you, the Freight House restaurant, this downtown restaurant, Piggy's Barbecue. I remember this from 30 years ago because there wasn't much else. I was at the Freight House. I remember I stayed 30 days, one time a month straight in La Crosse. I must have gone to the Freight House about 10 times. I must have gone to Piggy's Barbecue. Thursday was like a special night. Probably went there about 10 times. There was a place it's called the Coon Valley in Wisconsin, about 20 miles away from La Crosse. Diasassi's. I remember calling them. They were like a 4-star, 5-star restaurant. I was flying back from Minneapolis when was covering the Saints and Vikings in a preseason game, flying back on a little prop plane to La Crosse, and there was a doctor sitting across from me. Where can you get a good meal? And he said, Diasassi's in the Coon Valley. I called and said, hey, what do you have on the menu? Any specials? Like, yeah, special today. We got some fresh Gulf shrimp. We flew in from New Orleans. I'm like, stop, I'll be there. I'm not kidding you. I was like, wow. And it was pretty good. Went in there. I remember Lionel Bienvenu, Mike Hoss, and I think Parkinson, the old Channel 4 photographer, and Jim Mora walks in with an assistant, and they sit down and knock out a meal too. Like Mora was like, I got to get away, get a good meal. It was funny. But no, I love food. That's why Frank Brightson joins us on Friday to discuss that. but there's some more, pressing needs. New Orleans and Louisiana, a city and state that I love. LSU, a school, a university I love, class of 91. Went there, been there, done that. It's part of my DNA. I love it. But also New Orleans, Louisiana, and LSU, it's kind of like having some brainiac child and they score like a 1,600 on the SAT, a 1,580, a 1,590, get a 34, 35, 36 on the ACT, and then a bunch of F's, D's, and C's on the report card. That's sort of New Orleans, Louisiana, and LSU. Living off our past, the coattails of the past. No, it needs to be addressed. It needs to be discussed. It needs to be talked about. Buddy Romer came up with a line one time. He told me, Corey, as long as Mardi Gras is going in New Orleans, everybody's fine. And I've expanded on that quote from the late, great Buddy Romer. Boy, we missed the boat with that cat. We missed it. Could have had all those reforms, but the John Alario hacks, Sherman Copeland hacks, carrying Edwin Edwards water. We would have been North Carolina. New Orleans would have been Charlotte. We never would lose our culture, but we would have had an economy like North Carolina as a state, Charlotte as a city, if we would have followed Buddy Romer's lead. Instead, we ran from it. And 30 years later, 35 years later, we're still in the same boat we were in 35 years ago. A stagnant state, a stagnant city, zero growth, nothing. We blew it. No, but I expanded on Buddy Romer's quote. As long as Mardi Gras, 3 for 1 at the bar, and hunting and fishing season is a go, all is good in New Orleans and Louisiana. And that's just low standards. I love hunting and fishing season. 3 for 1 at the bar, yeah, you're right. Mardi Gras, all right, yes. But, we're great at the Friday, Saturday, Sunday stuff. We're great at the 5 p.m. Friday to 9 a.m. Monday stuff. The Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 stuff, we're awful at it. Thank you, John Alario, Sherman Copeland, Edwin Edwards, political hacks, Bill Jefferson types. A nightmare. We elect characters, not folks with character. And that's what compelled me to do what I do each and every day. Each and every day. Latoya, the Destroyer Cantrell, the city of New Orleans, says the parades will return to their full routes. St. Bernard Parish, a carjacking with a 6-year-old in it. The 6-year-old's fine. The perpetrator ran off. St. Bernard Sheriff deputies are trying to find him as we speak. 2 more NOPD officers under criminal investigation. The Kenner Esplanade Mall has a new owner. Hopefully they'll do something with it. I just mentioned Frank Brightson joining us every Friday. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joins us every Friday. That segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant that is hiring right now. East Bankers, West Bankers, they got you covered in Elmwood. North Shore folks, they got you covered in Hammond. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim.com. Do it right now.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Being a part of people's lives from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Welcome back. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, don't forget Rouse's Markets, over 60 Rouse's Markets. Right when you walk in, you can smell those king cakes baking. Every store bakes their own king cakes, about 20 plus different varieties to choose from. You can even get them by a single slice. I love it. And you can send them to friends and family all around the country. Go to rouses.com. It's king cake season, Mardi Gras season. Get your king cakes at Rouse's Markets. Yeah, speaking of all around the country, this is pretty interesting. I'll fill you in a second on what I'm talking about. Paula Norris-Metier joins us on the program again from Springfield Wellness Center, about 50 minutes from the Superdome, about 40 minutes from Tiger Stadium. How you doing, Paula?
I'm doing great, Corey. Doing great.
Always a pleasure to have you on the program. Hey, I'm talking to you during the break, and the Springfield Wellness, one of your 3 or 4 Springfield Wellness TV commercials is playing, and it's the guy who fought for our country, that where I can go on the radio and talk for my freedom. And he's like, man, I was drinking a case of beer a day, and I went to Springfield Wellness, and it changed my life. I was just saying, boy, I think that's such an effective commercial, and folks that have PTSD or some kind of addiction that help fight for our country, and you're like, that guy's from Michigan. I'm like, what?
Yes, he comes for his boosters.
From Michigan.
From Michigan, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying 50 minutes from the Dome, 40 minutes from Tiger Stadium. Like, hey, you Baton Rouge, New Orleans folks, river parishes, Cajun country, North Shore. It's so much more than that, from all around the country, and maybe even some international folks taking advantage of Springfield.
Oh, absolutely. We have people who live in New York, but they're from Australia. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to behold, really. It really is. But yeah, they want to come to us because we've been doing it longer than anybody in the country. And our product, the NAD that we use is probably the best quality on the planet, we believe.
Yeah, that's key. Those 2 points especially. You guys were literally the first movers in the United States of America almost 25 years ago. And you went with the highest quality NAD available. And I'm not knocking America. I love it. It's the best country in the world. But folks copy other folks, and then they want to, make more money and use shortcuts. And there's some folks now that know the success you've had, and all around the country, NAD, and it's, cut back. It's not as pure as yours. It's not the high quality of yours. It's part NAD. It's something else. There's a lot of competition out there, but there's no replacing the real deal and the innovators and all that experience, is there?
Well, we think so, that there is not a way to jump ahead of us, because we've been doing it so long. And the good news is that we are training other people in the country who are like-minded, who are ethical, and who are doing their very best to fight the brain diseases that we have. It's not just the CTE. It's not just the post-traumatic stress. It's not just the addictions that surface as a result of what we try to do to help ourselves feel better. But in any case, we have been doing it longer. We know we've learned through trial and error, and we do share that information with people who do want to come and do what we do. But we want them to do it our way, and our way is taking into consideration that the person who comes to us is really uncomfortable at best and scared to death at worst. Everyone is afraid to face some of the things that they think will be difficult for them if they've even tried to detox on their own, for instance, if it's someone coming for addiction. But I can tell you that we have a beautiful staff, a wonderful group of people who nurture. We know that the support that someone will need, and we give hope. We really do, and the hope is not empty. It's attainable, and it's maintainable as well.
Yeah, the brain is the thing that's getting empty. I can't stress it enough. NAD is not a drug. It is the fuel for our cells. It's naturally in us, especially after like 30 and 40. Every human being, it starts depleting. What you're doing, Paula, is filling up the tank. So even people that want to live their best life that are over 30 and 40, that don't have addiction problems or CTE or any of that, it's filling up the tank. It's giving those cells their best chance.
It's a fundamental molecule. It's fundamental to every cell in the human body. And it is responsible for creating energy. It protects. It takes care of it's anti-inflammatory. And it improves the immune cell function as well. It's just ubiquitous. It's in everything. And I think that's why we're discovering all the different uses for it, because going to help the whole body, but it's going to help specific parts as well.
Yep. Yeah, and don't take my word or Paula's word for it. Do your own research. Google, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, Bing. Find out about NAD, learn about it, and you're going to realize what we're saying is exactly how it is. And then the major difference, like I said, Paula's been doing this over 25 years, coupled with the fact they've got the purest NAD maybe on the planet. Hey, Paula, always a pleasure. Love having you on the program.
Well, it's my pleasure always as well. Thank you so much, hon.
That's Paula Norris-Metier from Springfield Wellness Center, springfieldwellnesscenter.com, springfieldwellnesscenter.com, 504-291-4000. Corey Johnson with you, 5 o'clock Power Hour next.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's founder, Paula Norris-Metier.
Our Brain Restoration Plus Detox Treatment is an intravenous nutritional supplement that restores the brain's chemical imbalances. Our patients detox with minimal withdrawal symptoms. It also blocks the craving, which is unbelievable and which is what most people say they have a hard time believing, but it restores neuron function. Many treatment programs use one drug to get you off of another drug. At Springfield, we treat the problem. Addiction is first a brain disease. If you or a loved one suffer from substance abuse, please just give us a call.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Hey guys, it's Frank Smith from LasVegasGambling.com with your weekend 5-star lock of the week. Lock of the week. Take the Lakers and the points over the Clippers. Sell the house, sell the boat, sell your children. Send grandma away and take the money. Put everything you've got on this 5-star selection. It's the Lakers over the Clippers. And we've also got a fantastic 5-star parlay as well. Call us now, 888-555-7777. It's Frank Smith, a.k.a. The Hammer, from LasVegasGambling.com. Do it now.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here. delivering Louisiana's future. At the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air coming your way next. The Nutriground with Corey Johnson. Canceled.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped.
That's right.
Down,
these are my final moments in talk radio and television.
Became the Prince of a town called
We're
Bel-Air.
going to run a couple of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reruns, and then they're going to figure out what's going to go on this time slot. The corporate guys. I've enjoyed it, everyone. Thank you so much.
Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground.
All right, let's go to La Jolla, California. Where's number 9, Drew Brees? Bail us out, Drew. Drew Brees, please.
I got in one little fight in my mind.
Number 9. There he is. Thank you for that intro. Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock hour coming your way. Thanks so much for checking us out on the radio. Oh so fine 93.9 FM. I'm really excited about this radio signal. Oh so fine 93.9 FM. Some good things are about to happen at Oh So Fine 93.9 FM. Keep tuning in. You know, you can also check out the program on television, 4 to 5:30, radio till 6 o'clock, live streaming till 6 o'clock, YouTube, 2 big hours, 90 minutes of fun on television, 4 to 5:30, all over Louisiana. Wherever Cox Television is in Louisiana, I'm there 4 to 5:30. Wherever Charter Television is, I'm there from 4 to 5:30. Cox Channel 4. Yearview, Louisiana, 4 to 5:30. Spectrum Channel 333, 4 to 5:30, all over the state. Yeah, you right. Again, thanks so much for joining us. 5 o'clock Power Hour coming your way. The 5 o'clock Power Hour on this wide open Wednesday brought to you by Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. Real diamonds, natural diamonds, over 1 billion years old. These so-called diamond stores with these man-made diamonds made by a machine in 3 weeks. Here's a simple fact, not an opinion, a fact. Natural diamonds, real diamonds, 1 billion years old. There's a limited quantity. They appreciate in value. They go up in value. They'll be worth more next year, 5 years, 10 years from now than they are today. The 3-week-old man-made diamonds, they are depreciating in value every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, and at an accelerated rate because the market is being flooded by man-made 3-week-old diamonds. This is your girlfriend, soon to be your wife. When it comes to engagement rings, Friend & Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in Uptown, in between Broadway and Carrollton. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, like Ken Friend says, who's been at it for over 40 years. His family, about 50 years. You've got a friend in the jewelry business, and that's so important when these so-called diamond stores are pushing these 3-week-old man-made diamonds on you. And they're still pretty expensive, and they're depreciating in value right away. Slip it on the girlfriend's finger, going down in value. Walk out the store with it, going down in value. And it's only going to accelerate. They're going to be like trinkets pretty soon. I mean, if you don't think China and these other foreign countries are mass producing man-made diamonds, then you're not paying attention. There is a major difference. Man-made diamonds, 3 weeks old, depreciating in value, or real diamonds, natural diamonds, limited quantity, 1 billion with a B, 1 billion years old. Put something special on her finger, not something ordinary that's depreciating in value. It's your future wife. Get her real diamonds. New Orleanians that know Friend and Company fine jewelers when it comes to engagement rings. Ken Friend will take care of you. Any price point. Friend and Company fine jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. You truly do have a friend in the jewelry business. 5 o'clock power hour on this Wednesday afternoon, brought to you by Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. It is a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Really nice weather out there. A little cool, a little crispy. We wake up, it's high 40s, and we fade into the 50s. Sunshine, gorgeous. It'll be that way at least through Saturday. We might get into the low 60s, but mostly a lot of 50s and sunny for the next few days. Yeah, it's January. It's supposed to have this kind of weather, even in New Orleans, even in South Louisiana. It's Mardi Gras season, too. Hopefully, this is what we get. Night parades, day parades, this type of weather, huh? LaToya, the Destroyer, Cantrell, Mayor, City of New Orleans. Blah. Speaking of parades and Mardi Gras, she says the parades will return to their full routes, their full routes. I'm going to say route. Anyway, all parades will return to their full routes, and that's a blessing. So many folks roll into our city from around the state, around the region, around the country, around the world for our famous Mardi Gras celebration. We know how to party. We do it better than anyone else. It's got to go off without a hitch. We need a flawless Mardi Gras. So it's good to get the full routes going. I just worry about people parking their vehicles, 4 to 6 blocks and closer to the parade route on either side of St. Charles, and these lunatic criminals licking their chops, rubbing their hands together about busting into windows and, stealing stuff out of people's cars. No guns, no laptops, nothing of value. Don't leave anything of value in your vehicle. I hate to say that. It sucks. It's your car. You should be able to do whatever you want, but don't leave anything of value in your vehicle because these ruthless criminals will probably be out there. And I know the full parade routes have been approved by the mayor in the city of New Orleans because these crews had to come up with lists. Hey, we're getting some sheriff deputies from East Baton Rouge. We're getting some Gulfport police. We're getting some Memphis police. We've hired some police from so-and-so. We've hired private security from blah, blah, blah. They're going to help patrol the parade route with us and help the NOPD at their job. They're not going to make arrests. They're going to hold, like a citizen arrest and then get NOPD to come in and make the official arrest. But a deterrent. Law enforcement in uniform up and down the parade route. But more than on the parade route, we need them outside the parade route. We need them outside of the parade route, protecting parked vehicles up and down streets. That's why I've been calling for a New Orleans Guardian Angel group. There's like 130 of them around the world. It works so well in New York. They aren't armed. They know self-defense, and they seem to understand the law. And they're a very good deterrent. They're not a problem solver. They're not getting it done exclusively, but it can't hurt. And I think having a large presence of those cats up and down the parade route, a few blocks off the parade route where folks are parking, would be a huge help. New Orleans Guardian Angels. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. You got to love this Pope. I'm Catholic. I like this Pope. He It's refreshing because he pretty much gets it. He's moving in the right direction. Pope Francis says homosexuality is not a crime. He's about to go visit the Middle East, where it's a crime. I respect Muslims. I respect that religion. I'm a Syrian, Lebanese Arab myself. My mom is 100% Syrian Lebanese. If you're an Arab, you're one of three religions, basically. You're Muslim, Christian, or Jewish. I'm Christian. My mom's Christian. I respect Muslims. I respect that their God is Allah. Mine's Jesus. I hope there's a mutual respect there. And I just don't respect these Middle Eastern countries that, like Christianity, like homosexuality, some type of abomination or sin. I think any human being that's realistic, that uses common sense, that just thinks through it just a little bit. I mean, a lifestyle, a choice, absolutely absurd. No more of a lifestyle or choice than you being heterosexual. You didn't choose it. It chose you. It's who you are, part of your DNA. Are there bisexual folks that are a little of each? Sure. There's all kind of variations of human beings. This is obvious, commonsensical, and folks that don't get it, I don't know. I guess you'll never get it. You're scared. You don't want to understand. You use religion as a hitch, as an excuse. It's pathetic. I'm Catholic. Jesus is my guy. I don't think Jesus thinks homosexuality is a sin in the least bit. He created these folks. He didn't create them. We're going to have some sinners out there so humans have an example.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday. Dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Every day we broadcast live on radio, television, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We're on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. We do it from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. What did we have last week? A record high, 81 degrees. Now we're in the 40s and 50s for the next few days. Air conditioning or heat help, River City's Total Maintenance is there. When I say fair and honest Lucas and the boys, it's not some line. I've been talking about River City's Total Maintenance for over a decade on radio and television. For over a decade. I met Lucas. He approached me about doing it. And then I brought him in for service, repair, eventually replacement of my air conditioning. It was easy to promote them. I went and checked out their operation, met his, boss, Brigham, and honest, hardworking people that deliver every day, the best at what they do. I also liked how they weren't tied down to one air conditioning manufacturer like all the other guys are. They are Louisiana's number one carrier distributor or installing more carrier units than anyone else in Louisiana. American Standard, same thing. They handle anything, train, whatever you want. They got it for you. They're not tied down to one manufacturer like all the other guys. I love that about them. And I love that Lucas is fair and honest. He's become a friend of mine, a legitimate friend. I don't seek out these clients for my program or vice versa. And then all of them I'm tight with, and we become great friends. But Lucas and I have become really good friends over the years. And he is fair and honest, and he does care. And his crew are a bunch of air conditioning and heating experts. They're not misdiagnosing or trying to figure it out on the fly. They fix it right away. I'm not kidding you. One time I had my unit go down. Lucas diagnosed it correctly over the phone. Air conditioning and heating experts. And here's the best part. They come immediately. When someone's heat or AC isn't working right, you want them there yesterday. Honest. Air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. That's what River City's Total Maintenance is all about. 841-3300. 841-3300. Something even easier to remember, their website, NOLAAC.com. You need heat or air conditioning help? Just think NOLAAC.com. And the crew from River City's Total Maintenance will take care of you. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Corey Johnson with you, a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. No, I was talking about the Pope. And he's like, homosexuality is not a crime. And he's right. Because it's not a choice or a lifestyle. It's who these folks are. And folks that are scared or intimidated, grow up. Quit being a child. Did heterosexuality choose you? You chose that. It's your lifestyle, or it's who you are. Same thing with folks that are gay or bisexual or whatever they are. Human beings aren't this set thing that they're this exactly. I know a lot of you like that. You're comfortable with that. It's easier that way to think that way, I guess, but that's not reality. No, I like how the Pope says homosexuality is not a crime. He's heading to the Middle East, where in a lot of these countries it is a crime. But I don't like how he says it's not a crime, but it is a sin. I would disagree with the Pope. I would disagree with the Pope. And you go, Corey, who are you to disagree with the Pope? I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic boy. He's my Pope. I just think he's wrong. I don't think he's wrong. I think he knows it's not a sin. I think he's saying it's a sin because he doesn't want to alienate a lot of old school Catholics that would abandon the church if homosexuality is accepted. You're going to have to deal with Jesus, with God, with your maker on this homosexuality problem you have. Homosexuals have no problems. You, the heterosexual, the homophobic person, you have the problem. Grow up already. Think through it just a little bit. Don't be scared. It's mind-blowing. Full-blown adults just, so frightened. Anything that's different from them, just scared of, just no apathy at all, no understanding of anyone else but themselves. It's mind-blowing. It's selfish. It's selfish. Anyway, it's not a crime, but it is a sin. No, Pope Francis, you're wrong. It's not a sin. It's not a sin. Jesus created these folks just like he created everybody else. Free choice, free will. You do something sinful, that's a sin. Being heterosexual or being homosexual, nothing sinful about any of that in the least bit. So I like this Pope. I like his forward thinking. I like where he's going. We need like a Vatican III. Change even more rules. I mean, I'm not trying to bust on the Catholic Church, but when I was a kid, I'll use New Orleans as an example. And these are just rough estimates, but you get the point. First off, there were double the amount of masses available than before. I mean, there were so many folks going to church that they made Saturday acceptable. Hey, you can go to church if you're Catholic on a Saturday and it'll count for going on Sunday. I'm like, really? Oh, how about Wednesday from 3 to 6? Does that count for Sunday? You know, just sort of making up rules. You can go on Saturday and it counts for Sunday. Wow. Okay. That's interesting how you do that. I'm not complaining about it, but there were that many folks going. There were that many services available. A lot on Saturday, a lot on Sunday. I mean, we could pick and choose it, like Matthias in the morning, St. Pius at 5 o'clock, Cabrini at 6:30, St. Raphael at 7, St. John the Baptist at 9 p.m. You think there's a 9 p.m. Mass on a Sunday at St. John the Baptist? No shot. So there were at least double the amount on Sunday church services available than you had today. And then you had a full-blown, almost a duplicate of Sunday almost on Saturday, about maybe half as many Sunday times on Saturday. So at least 2 times the sheer number of masses at certain times available than today. At least 2 times more, at least, maybe 3 times. Then you had at least twice as many people, if not 3 or 4 times as many people going to church. We go to St. Pius, standing room only. I'd go to St. Raphael, standing room only. St. John the Baptist had to stand in the back. Cabrini. I remember Cabrini had the glass area that you'd enter the main church where all the pews were, and sort of a foyer area with some seats, some benches, and standing room. It was always crowded. Saturday, Sunday, always crowded. And you've got now, coupled with all that, half the services are more available, half the people going, half the churches that we used to have. In New Orleans, I'm talking about. Half as many churches as we used to have. No, the Catholic Church desperately needs a Vatican III. Some obvious changes like homosexuality is not a sin, to bring people back to the church. To bring people back to the church. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City?
a great wind down spot after work, in between lunch and dinner. And yeah, they rock and roll 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, full of New Orleans characters and full of great New Orleans eats. More is better, more of the good things. That's what Scott Craig, owner and head chef, says. As New Orleans as it gets, in the heart of Mid-City, Iberville, corner Talamacas, Katie's restaurant. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? Hey, television audience, we're about to approach 5:30. Cox Channel 4 viewers, Spectrum Channel 333 viewers. You can continue watching on YouTube right now. You can continue listening at 93.9 FM if you're in New Orleans. You can continue listening and watching live streaming, CoreyTalks.com, Kaare, CoreyTalks.com. But coming up in less than 10 seconds, we say adios to our television audience. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. It is 5:30. Bing! Radio audience, YouTube watchers, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We seamlessly continue until 6 p.m. St. Bernard Parish, a carjacking with a 6-year-old baby, a 6-year-old child in that vehicle. The carjacker abandons the car, runs off. The 6-year-old is fine. St. Bernard Sheriff deputies searching for this criminal. Help him out if you know. You know, we had Jason Williams on, New Orleans DA, in the 4 o'clock hour. He's like, citizens, use your crime cameras, your house or business cameras that you've set up. When a crime's going down, you got them on video, send that to the NOPD. Help us solve crimes. Jason Williams was even talking about, install cameras yourself if you have the means. If you don't have the means, there are nonprofits that will give you the cameras and install them and set them up for you. Look into that if you don't have the means to put in a camera system. But you folks that do like me. I got 6 cameras around my house. 6. I've had the police come to me. You got video on this? Let me see. I'll rewind. I'll try to find it. Try to help you out. No, we got to step up and help. So you folks down in St. Bernard, where life is hard. If you have any clues, you live near where this went down, you got cameras available, help out the St. Bernard Sheriff's Department. Catch these ruthless criminals. Speaking of criminals, 2 more NOPD officers under criminal investigation. Unbelievable. How about those Morrell brothers? Brothers earning each over $200,000 a year, not only on the clock full-time and not working, on detail at the same time, getting paid to be an NOPD officer.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's Dr. Richard Metier.
For over 20 years, we've successfully treated patients with substance abuse issues and have also had success with patients suffering from chronic stress, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. We uniquely address restorative issues at the cellular level that impact mental health. We treat our patients with an intravenous nutritional supplement that helps restore various brain functions. Most of our patients have greatly reduced withdrawal symptoms. We work toward maximizing nutritional conventional interventions while utilizing traditional medication interventions when needed. Our treatment works toward restoring the brain's health while returning the patient to a normal, dependent-free life.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
You know, body language tells you a lot about what a person's thinking. For instance, that means she has an interest in the finer things in life.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
That means she also wants a little fun in her life, but only with the right man.
Corey Johnson.
Now she's pouring a Colt 45, and we all know what that means.
Yeah, you right.
Mind if I join you?
You must have read my mind.
Something like that.
The power of Colt 45. It works every time.
It never works. Boy, Billy D. Williams. I don't think he got any girly action at all. Huh? Geesh. Oh, Billy D. Williams, Colt 45 brand malt liquor. I repeat, not a sponsor of the program. One time I was in a grocery store and I popped open a Colt 45 brand malt liquor. All I remember is waking up about 45 minutes later, half dressed, and a bunch of women peeling themselves off of me. It was absolutely amazing. Colt 45 brand malt liquor. It works every time. Works at what? I have absolutely no idea. No clue. Oh, boy. Billy D. Williams. Yeah, you're right. Corey Johnson with you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. No, there's about almost a dozen cops under federal investigation, NOPD officers, for just blatantly, egregiously breaking the law. I mean, my God, these are policemen. They're supposed to be held to a higher level. These Morrell brothers racing their cars, like they have race cars, and they go to the track on the West Bank and race their cars at the track while they're on the clock pulling New Orleans taxpayer money. They're supposed to be wearing the blue outfit, being a cop in uniform, in their car, patrolling the streets, doing detective work, whatever they're supposed to be doing as NOPD. They're at the track racing their car on the clock, taxpayer finance money, working for the NOPD and not working, having fun racing their cars. And they're also double dipping. They're getting paid for a detail that they're not doing. Each one made over $200,000 a year the last few years. $200,000 a year not being an NOPD officer. No, it is sinful behavior. It really is. Criminal behavior. Police are supposed to be held at a higher standard. When they commit a crime, it's worse. When someone commits a crime against a policeman, those criminals are worse because it's a cop. Works both ways. No, these Morrell brothers are no morals, no ethics, no integrity, no honor, no pride. Ripping off the system, do not care. In violent, crime-ridden New Orleans, where we need each and every NOPD officer we can get. And these clowns, these jokers, are on the West Bank at Laney Schwest's track, racing their cars in the middle of the day and getting paid over $200,000 a year. Thank God the FBI is investigating them. Thank God. They deserve to go down. And all these other cops, it's almost a dozen NOPD officers being investigated, criminal activity. And in typical New Orleans fashion, we don't fire them. We don't suspend them without pay. We reassign them and keep paying them. It's just something wrong around here. It's like I bring this up all the time, this RTA director running the Regional Transit Authority in New Orleans. And then also was the Transit Authority director in Tampa, Florida. 2 full-time jobs that pay like a couple of $100,000 each, lying to the RTA, lying to the Tampa folks. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Tampa finds out about the scam because of the media, investigative reporters. You folks that knock the media, grow up already. Thank God for the media. Part of the First Amendment in America. Tampa finds out. They fire the lady right away. You're double dipping. We can prove it. You're done. What does New Orleans do? Puts her on paid leave while they investigate. Investigate what? Tampa didn't need to investigate. She's not suing Tampa for you wrongfully fired me. Tampa saw this lady's lying to us. This lady's supposed to be working exclusively for us, living in Tampa exclusively, full-time gig and more. You're fired. New Orleans, we're going to put you on paid leave. Keep getting your money while we investigate. I mean, that's the difference. That's why Tampa's a real city and New Orleans is dysfunctional and broken. Florida's a real state. Louisiana's dysfunctional and broken. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's a joke. Paid leave for police while we investigate. No, fire them. Put the onus on them. Let them sue you to get their job back, which they won't because they're criminals. It's pathetic. Just so second-rate, half-ass, goes on and on and on. We worry about blue-collar and white-collar criminals first and not the citizens. It's like Irvin Mayfield Jr., the poster boy for white-collar crime, steals $1.3 million from some of the most needy, mostly inner-city black kids in New Orleans, the public library system. They use it the most. Irvin may steal, exactly. Irvin may steal again. Irvin Mayfield Jr., $1.3 million. Judge Jay Zaney is zany. Sentences him to 18 months. Pathetic. Full 5 years. What's wrong with you, Zaney? What does he have to do to get 5 years? And then the restitution you guys come up with, $500 a month? It would take 200 years. 200 years for Irvin Mayfield Jr., the criminal, the convicted felon, stealing from inner city black kids in New Orleans. Sinful behavior. Just a piece of crap. Worthless human being. As bad as it gets. He's keeping north of $1 million. He'll never come close to paying back any of it. $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. $6,000 a year. In a decade, he will have paid $60,000. In a century, $600,000. He stole $1.3 million. How is there any restitution or justice in that? And I'll tell you about sinful behavior. Shame on you, Zulu organization. An organization I respect, part of the fabric of New Orleans, over a century old. doing a lot for the community, giving back, and just compelled to, man, we should hire Irvin Mayfield Jr. Who thought of that within the Zulu organization? You know how many righteous black and white musicians there are that would love the money, that would be honored to work at a Zulu event? And you hire Irvin Mayfield Jr. There's just something wrong. It's just typical broken New Orleans and Louisiana, broken mindset. Hey, guys, let's hire Irvin Mayfield Jr. Why? Why, Zulu? Endymion went with Mel Gibson. They got rid of him. Don't hire Irvin Mayfield Jr. Any nightclub or music club, bar that hires Irvin Mayfield Jr., I will call you out and I will boycott you. And a lot of other folks will too, because it's the wrong thing to do. The wrong thing to do. I'm all for second chances. This scam artist gets 18 months instead of 5 years. He spends 7 or 8 months in that Pensacola Country Club prison, about 3 months at a halfway house. I don't know who he knows, what strings he pulled, but somebody got with the feds and got him out of jail. And it's pathetic. That loser buddy of his, who obviously don't have as much stroke, Markham, he's still in a halfway house. And what's up with the halfway house gimmick? Regular jail cell, 85% of your sentence. Federal guidelines. No, Irvin Mayfield is a piece of crap. A worthless human being, a felon, a criminal, and he'll do it again. Because I guarantee you that old Gators building on MLK and Aretha Castle Haley, $10 million in renovation, $10 million. What do they have? Some Donald Trump gold-plated toilets and gold doorknobs? And I mean, $10 million of renovation? How much money did Markham and convicted felon, the criminal, the scumbag, Irvin Mayfield Jr., skim off of that construction job? Could be millions. I implore anyone that knows construction, architecture, to tell me that Gator building had more than $5 or $6 million invested in it. That would be an insane amount. $10 million. Wow. No, just something broken in Louisiana and New Orleans. We think about the criminal first, the citizen second. Irvin Mayfield's got over $1 million of our money. Gold-plated trumpet. $16,000 Louis Vuitton case for the trumpet. $1,300 room service breakfast at the Ritz-Carlton in New York. Rich and wealthy people don't do this. He's like LaToya Cantrell, just this crazy entitlement mentality. Everyone wants to fly first class. Everyone wants to live high on the hog. It's wrong. You're not rich. You're not wealthy. You just stole. You're a criminal. It's pathetic. And then Zulu, hey, we're going to make Irvin Mayfield part of our event. Have him come play the trumpet. He's making money in the halfway house. People going to see him and having him play. And I'll just tell you this, not my opinion, a fact. Talk to local musicians. No one likes Irvin Mayfield. They didn't like him before he was a criminal. He's probably always been a criminal. Before it was known he was a felon. No musicians wanted to work with him. Black and white. They think he's egomaniacal and they think he's way overrated. They don't respect his talent as a musician, and they don't respect him as a person. Black and white musicians, go ask them. Anyone you want to ask. It's amazing. No one likes Irvin Mayfield before all the crap went down. No, we are fundamentally broken in New Orleans and Louisiana, and shame on Zulu for hiring this joker. It's pathetic. We got to do better than that. Zulu, you got to do better. Make it right. 86, the guy already.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you, telling it like it is. Real talk radio for the city. No lightweights here. No lightweights. I'm not a former disc jockey that decided to do talk. Been doing talk radio for about 30 years. Got a little bit of experience, a little history, a little knowledge, consistency. I don't say one thing one day and something else the next. I know exactly who I am, what I stand for. I'm not flaky. It's important. Every day I bring it full bore. Today my best, tomorrow better. That's what we try to do on the neutral ground every day. Hey, Fausto's Bistro is open till 9 p.m. tonight. Do you love Sicilian and Italian food? Of course you do. Who doesn't? Get the best example of it in the city. You want to know another place I like? Irene's in the Quarter. Irene's in the Quarter is fantastic. Guess what? Irene is the sister of Fausto and Roland. Fausto and Roland, the brothers, own Fausto. Their sister is Irene. She owns Irene. Irene's son, Nick, also part of Irene's, a great chef in his own right. You can't go wrong at either place. I'm overdue for Irene's. Just a fantastic atmosphere. That crab meat au gratin, the best example of it anywhere in the world. The crab meat au gratin at Irene's is unbelievably good. That chicken with the olive oil and garlic, the rosemary, chicken rosemarino at Irene's, as good an example of that dish anywhere in the world. And so many other great things at Irene's. Love Irene's. Love Fausto's Italian Bistro. I'm in Fausto's once or twice a week. It's that good. You won't be disappointed. Last time I was in there, I got the veal piccata in that lemony sauce, a little fettuccine Alfredo on the side. Just fantastic. Sit at the bar, watch some Pelicans tonight. Dine inside, dine outside with a little jacket and scarf. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. You will not, I repeat, you will not be disappointed. So good. Check out Fausto's on Vets tonight for dinner, open till 9 p.m. Wide open Wednesday. This good weather continues, sunny and cool through Saturday at least. Waking up high 40s, fades into the 50s. Maybe a couple of these next 4 days, we might get into the low 60s. Just fantastic weather. Get outside and enjoy it. Latoya, the Destroyer, Cantrell, the City, New Orleans says parades will return to their full routes. You got to love this Pope. Homosexuality is not a crime. God loves us as we are. But then he kind of drops the ball. It's not a crime, but it is a sin. No, Pope Francis, coming from this Catholic, this believer in Jesus, in Christ, it's not a sin. Homosexuality is not a sin. Folks that think that, regardless of religion, have to think through it a little bit more. God created us in his image. And if you're heterosexual, it's not a choice or a lifestyle, a selection. It's how you are. If you're gay, bisexual, whatever, it's not a choice or a lifestyle. It's how you are. Every human being that thinks through this knows this as a fact, not as an opinion. Lifestyle choice. It's just, I don't know how folks come up with that. They just lack empathy, you know? And their apathy is their number one trait. Don't want to think about it, scared of it, something different from them, just run from it. Have a little apathy, empathy, understanding how others think, how others feel, a choice, a lifestyle. That's embarrassing coming from an adult. Embarrassing. St. Bernard Parish, a carjacking with a 6-year-old on board. Thank goodness the carjacker pulled over, abandoned the vehicle, and ran off. 6-year-old's fine. Thank goodness. St. Bernard Sheriff deputies searching for this joker. Help him if you can. You got video. You live near there. You saw him. Help him if you can. 2 more NOPD officers under criminal investigation. What's that make, like 10, maybe a dozen now? Under federal criminal investigation. It doesn't stop. Kenner's Esplanade Mall has a new owner. I think they closed the deal Friday. It's a 700,000 square foot mall that's really fallen apart now. They want to turn it into a mixed use development. Live, work, play, live there. It doesn't include the Dillard's, which is rolling along, or the Target, which is rolling along. Those are separately owned. But it does include the old Macy's building and the 700,000 square foot Esplanade Mall. So hopefully they come up with something really good for that. Kenner deserves it. It's needed. That area is nice around there. It needs to be something viable and productive. Man, when they opened that bad boy, I'm going to say around 1983, 1984, like almost 40 years ago. It was state of the art. It did really, really well. But malls all around the country have kind of gone, in a downward spiral. Lakeside Shopping Center, one of the rare exceptions. Lakeside Shopping Center, per square foot, one of the most profitable malls in the South. And that includes like Houston, Dallas, Atlanta. Lakeside does ridiculously well. The Weil family up on the East Coast, they apparently know what to do with Lakeside. Always adding to it, renovating buildings around it, upgrading. Clearview Shopping Center, they were on that downward spiral. They recreated it. Live, work, play. Look at the Ochsner building, beautiful building where the Sears store was. Pretty impressive. Hey, every day we're on radio, television, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com, YouTube. It's always brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra. What's that, Blue Boy? Right on the corner, right on the price. Blue Boy, you don't miss a beat. Yeah, on the car corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10. And across the parish by the river, now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park doesn't slow down. Every day, the program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Mañana, 4 o'clock, be there.